Hi students, specifically of grades 1 and 2. This video is being designed specifically for y'all to give you all some pointers in relation to the storytelling competition that y'all are going to be participating in. I guess y'all would have already read about the rules. You need to narrate a very interesting story. It has to be based probably on some historical incident in relation to India. A maximum period for, of course, the story is about 3 minutes. Try and memorize the story and read without a paper. If you really have a paper in your hand, we don't have any problems. If you want to refer to it once in a while, it's all right. The marking criteria also have been well defined. Your facial expressions are very important because, if you're not really giving facial expressions to the crowd, it's very difficult for them to follow what you're doing. Then it becomes like a news report. When you're narrating a story, if you've really heard your parents tell your stories, you've always waited for those high and low points. You've waited for them to intonate to make it more interesting. Secondly, of course, your memorization abilities. They really want to know how you are able to remember this, but let me tell you that we are not giving as much importance to memorization abilities as the other parameters. Okay, you all are young in the field of public speaking. Okay, this is probably one of your first steps. Do not get scared. In fact, if at any point in time you falter or hesitate, our moderators, our hosts, our judges are only going to support you, right? But try your best to memorize this because when you keep referring to a paper, what will happen is that you lose connect with the audience. Maintaining eye contact with the audience is always very important. That is one of the first and most important things that you need to keep in mind with reference to public speaking. Thirdly, your eloquence. Eloquence means your ability to speak clearly, articulate well, say all your words clearly, okay, stop at punctuations, be fluent. All of these things come under eloquence. How great you are as a public speaker comes under eloquence. Now please note, you don't need to practice being eloquent specifically. This comes in course of time, okay? Just practice on being good and being yourself. Fourthly, your voice modulation, going up and down. Now, if I was to continuously speak at, just this one tone at all points in time, you all would get really bored. Which is why it is very important to go high and low while you're speaking. Because if you don't do that, your audience is going to get bored, okay? Fifth is your presentation. Presentation considers not only your presentation when you're speaking up, okay, the order in which you're telling the story, but also presentation includes the way you're dressed up, okay? You don't need to be dressed up in formals, but look presentable, because whenever you go in front of a crowd of people, the first thing that they see is not how you're speaking. The first thing they see is how you're looking, okay? So I'm sure all of you all are very pretty, very handsome, but make sure that you're well dressed as well, okay? And lastly, your delivery and poise. Try and be very clear with each one of your words, okay? Please try and complete every single word. Don't eat up words. That affects your delivery. And lastly, your poise. Be very calm and composed. There is nothing to be scared about. Public speaking is there's very little difference between public speaking and just speaking to your friends regularly. Just think of everybody sitting there, including your judges as your friends, and you're going to have a wonderful time. I wish you all the best, and I hope you all have been preparing well. Thank you.